Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jen. He just wants to help clean off the spray paint graves. And today, we are talking about Stranger Things, Season 1, Episode 7, The Bathtub, which I feel like it should be called The Kiddie Pool.
That's true. That's true. And the weird thing is, too, like, at the end of this one where they said, hey, you remember that tub that we had or whatever for Bob and Apples? I'm thinking of, like, one of the blue plastic ones.
Yeah, or like, maybe like a metal, like thing, you
Yeah.
know?
And then they pulled this out, and I was like, wait, hold on. Every time, I've watched this one, like, 4 or 5 times. Every time I watch it and they pull this pull out, I'm like, wait, how would you bob for apples in this? It's so big.
I mean, yeah, and it would like probably collapse if you tried to put like weight on it. I
Yes.
feel like
Yes.
a little bit kind of. It was just when we get to it, it's interesting. It's like I start to like overanalyze stuff in this episode a little bit.
Yeah.
When we come to the preparation of the bathtub, in quotations.
Right.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say let's get into it, but
All right,
but if you got something else to say,
no. I was gonna say let's get into it as well. We're thinking on the right wavelength for our minds.
hell yeah!
So
you even say we're connected, like what's the thing called? Is it alike or is it Maleven for like
I don't know.
11 and Mike?
I don't know. I hear your dogs in the background.
Oh yeah. He was Justin. So jumping into this, we had where
they get back.
Yeah.
They get back from their little excursion at not the scrapyard, but where were they exactly? I forget where they were. Oh, at the quarry. That's right, at the quarry.
Yeah.
And Mike's helping 11 clean off her face. She had like got a little dirty. He's giving her a little sponge bath, which little awkward scene. I feel like at this moment, like what were they gonna do in the bathroom?
Obviously, I think they were just gonna get a little kiss, but you know,
You think they got their kiss ruined by Dustin of all people, where we find out that Lucas needs some help, or he's trying to help them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He actually, and it goes off of our last episode. When he climbed in the tree and saw that all of the electrical vans were basically pulling out from Hawkins for the electric repair, that they basically were on their way to come find 11, and he, I guess, kind of read between the lines that that's what was going to happen, because they sent out a lot of people, and
it's like 6 vans.
Yeah, so he's trying to get them on the radio to say, hey, like, you need to leave, they're coming at you, like, hey, let's go.
Yeah. Which this whole scene was pretty funny of them trying to decipher what Lucas was saying, because they're like, bad hens. What's a bad hen? I don't know what a bad hen is. Badmen. Oh no, the badmen are coming. And I love the scene where like they go to look. They go to look and they're like trying to be sneaky about it, but they're not being very sneaky. And Mike's trying to get his mom's attention, which Mrs. Wheeler on point in this episode today. Just saying.
You mean looking good?
Looking good. Yes. Like,
okay.
just saying. Oh, I forgot what her Willow might have a run for her money. Just saying.
Jesus.
Even though
Jesus.
they're two different things.
And they have a totally different age gap at totally different times. Um,
Totally different franchises.
yeah, right. Um, yeah, but they had that where they got out, and I kind of love this whole like little chasing that they're doing because they're going through the yards, and I
Yeah.
think you really stated it last time. Like point on what it felt like because this whole scene right here does feel like they took it right out of the ET movie.
Yeah, yeah, ET movie. Yeah, most definitely ET, I feel like.
Yeah, going through
Uh
the yards, doing all that. And then like you said, like the reverse ET moment where we finally had where like they're getting tailed by like three vans, and then there's one that's coming in front of them to like cut them off, and uh 11 basically like uses the force and throws the van over them.
yes. Which
Um,
it's funny to see cuz I don't know if it was the scene when the van hits. I don't know if the van was like an actual practical effect at that moment.
yeah.
Because
Well,
the way it lands, like there was no, you could just like like they superimposed the van in there or something like that. If it seemed like,
yeah.
I don't know, that's what something I noticed. I was like,
Probably
something
so.
seems off. Something seems a
Probably
little
so.
off. You know. But yeah,
Probably so. Uh, I mean, so this is the stupid thing that ran through my mind with this. I was like, you know, the agents or whatever that were in that van were like, yeah, we're gonna cut them off. You know, we're doing a smart idea, and then that happened,
yeah.
and they're probably dead. I was
I
like,
would have, I would have loved to have seen the agent's point of view in the van.
oh yeah, I mean
like
that would
what?
have been great. We
Like
wouldn't have even
what?
had to have like face shots. Like we could have just had backs of heads, like them reaching
Yeah,
at the dashboard because they were probably like, oh shit.
yeah. I think everybody was like, "Oh shit!" at this moment. Even like the kids were like, "Oh shit!" Like this is happening. Like this is for real. But they do end up actually getting away. They go to the junkyard of all places, where you find out that Lucas is the better man at this point, and he tells Elle that
I think
he was
everybody's the
wrong.
better man at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody puts their differences aside. I'm gonna be honest. I thought Lucas was gonna spit in his hand at this point and be like, "Here, put her there, pal,"
I agree.
because he did that in
Uh,
the first episode. I think it was.
yeah, yeah. This is what friendship is. You can. Buh, Dustin's like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah. No, I think everybody's kind of the bigger man in this one, and I think that they did kind of rekindle it on all sides, especially like after the thing that Dustin said, the last one about well, everybody was an asshole,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
oh well, Lucas was an asshole, oh you were an asshole, oh 11 was an asshole, like all that stuff. I think that was a really good kind of like closure for that whole thing that happened with that.
yeah, yeah. No, most definitely. Yeah, I feel like it is. Everything definitely comes full circle, and like the band is back together. You know,
The
the
boys are back in town.
the fellowship is together. The party is back together. One might say. But yeah, they end up actually seeing a helicopter, and they hide their bikes under a bus. This bus becomes pretty prevalent in this episode. Uh, but they end up hiding and trying to figure out what exactly they need to do to stay one step ahead of um, why am I blanking on his name?
Brenner?
Brenner, yeah, Brenner, and like the government agents and stuff like that. Where we
Yeah.
actually go from that to Hopper and Joyce returning to the police station to find Jonathan in handcuffs, and he beat the shit out of Steve. Which this whole scene was really funny, seeing Joyce like take command of things. And
Yes.
Hopper is like, let him go. And she's like, let my son go. You know, he did nothing wrong. And they're like, well, he did attack a police officer, sir. Like, he did technically break the law. You can't just be like, oh, like, let him go. And then we find the kill box, I feel like what I want to call it, or
Yeah.
the box of fun gadgets and traps.
Party favors for the Demogorgon.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, "What the fuck is this? Why do you have all this shit? How can you?" And like, I can't explain it to you. You know, we just need to go. And Hopper's like, "Try to explain it to me. Like, just come on. Let's talk about this in my office." And we get like the whole thing where Jonathan starts to explain like what is going on, or to his recollection, what is going on with this situation that we're in at the moment. And Hopper kind of agrees with them. Like he starts to put two and two together as well with the girl and the girl with the shaved head and stuff. Like the puzzle pieces are starting to come together. I feel like at this point, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Um yeah, I mean I like this scene too. Um the I think this is one still, and it's only because we're still in season 1, like we still get a really good chunk from the deputies.
Yes, the
And
deputies are
I
funny
love
in
them.
this
I
episode.
love them. Like I hate that we lost them. Like going forward, like I hate that we lost them. I hate that there's in other seasons there's a few other characters that we lost because like as side characters, I really like seeing them and stuff, and I wish they were able to stick around a little longer, even just for like one scene to know that they were still there. Um, but I mean, we have just so much stuff out of that. Um, and of course, like you said on this, I really like where Joyce walks in, she goes, take the cuffs off him. And he's like, I can't do that.
Yeah,
You're not a superior or whatever. And she like tells him like two or three times, and then Hopper comes in, take the cuff off. It's like, okay, chief.
okay, okay, Chief.
Like,
No, and I
like
love. Yeah, it's just a funny
we
scene.
knew that Joyce and Jim were gonna get together, I feel like at this moment.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
things are
they're
starting to
both
click.
very commanding.
Yeah, yeah, they are. We get that. We get the scene where like, they're talking and stuff, and they're trying to figure out like how are they gonna like contact Mike and Will at this point. Where they're still trying to figure that out in the police station, and we see Troy show up with his mother, who I might add is a Karen, a big old Karen, where she wants some charges to be brought up on Mike and his friends for breaking his arm.
Right. Well, and then his whole explanation, well, she can break your arm or make you piss yourself.
Or making it, the deputies start laughing like, "What? You got
What?
beat? You got beat up by
Yeah.
a girl?" Which I love this scene. It was so funny because like Troy couldn't defend himself at this moment. Like he was like, look what they did to him. Like look what they did to him. It was it was just really funny. I felt like it was probably one of the funniest scenes in this season. Like this episode has really funny moments in it, which we will get to moving forward in this, where we actually do see Hopper and the gang. They actually, are trying to figure out where Mike is. Where's Dustin? Where's Lucas? Where's this girl? And we see them go to the buyer's house to find Will's walkie-talkie. Which this
Yes.
whole scene was really, really funny, where they're trying to like be like, pick up, god damn it, pick up. And they're like, what should we do? Should we pick up? Is it a trap? Lando Calrissian. We got Lando Calrissian. You know, like stop bringing up
Yes.
Lando for. Um,
Yeah, and so I will say that I really like that they did have things like this in season 1, in season 2, season 3, things like that that were like little like gems of stuff, because I feel like most of these really get lost in season 5. Like you don't get little, oh my god, Lando Calrissian. And if you're a nerd, like you fucking know what this means.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
He's
like
he's the one who betrayed Han and Luke and Leia.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like other references, like they're just kind of lost in season 5, which I, you know, that's what's kind of upsetting. I feel like in that is that we did have these little sprinkles of like shows that you and I grew up with that I think really like held part of this together.
yeah. I mean, like when we get to season 5, it's kind of its own like different beast. I would say at that point. You know, we're far removed from like the nostalgic references and stuff like that. And it kind of takes on a mind of its own, I feel like, when we get to later seasons. It's very like simplified, I feel like, in a sense, with season one. You know, it still like sets that mysterious tone
Yes.
going forward. You know, it's not like like balls to the wall action and stuff. Like we're still trying to put the pieces together
Yes, yes.
at this point. But yeah, I mean it's fun. It's a fun scene, and like they do end up actually, you know, saying where they are exactly. Um, you know, they're at the junkyard and stuff, which leads to the government
Oh man,
agents.
I love this scene because like they can hear it and then
Yeah,
they just they hear it going on and then um they start kind of seeing it and they're like, oh my god, we gotta hurry. So shove the bikes underneath
yeah,
the
yeah,
the bus, you know, get on the bus and hide, which, you know, obviously for the first time seeing this, like we don't really see like a lot more of it, you know, this season, but it does come back. So I think the junkyard is one of those places in this that you always kind of gotta like you always kind of gotta love because it just seems like the underdogs like hangout almost.
yeah, yeah, and they very much like think that Hopper turned them in. Like they don't think that Hopper is on their side at this moment. And I love the scene where like the cars pull up and you think it's gonna be Hopper, but it's not Hopper. It's the government agents.
Yeah,
And like they're looking around, poking around, and they see the bikes and they go to the bus and they think they're about to like get shot and dead, you know. And I love the fact that we don't get this big action scene of like Hopper saving the day. We get this scene and it's kind of subtle and kind of comical, I feel like, to where we see it through like the kids' eyes of they only hear what's happening, which I really like, and it's a very nice touch. I feel like of you know here like hearing people get hit and like you know like wow what the hell's going on like what poop 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 pow pow pow
yeah, yeah,
you know and like Hopper pops in, he's like come on let's go, and they're like do we go with him? Like, what are we supposed to do at this point? And they're like, get the fuck out of the bus. Which I mean,
yes,
they 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 do get out of the bus at this point. And I have to say, I like we shift from that, which I think I might be jumping all over the place. We actually do see the government. They do actually commandeer like uh the Wheeler's house,
yes,
and they're like, "What do you mean this girl is like wanted by the government?" And like Miss Wheeler like is not trusting at all of the government, which like just I feel like it's reflecting of today's government, one might say, because the government just want to do whatever they want, and they're looking for this girl, and luckily Miss Wheeler and Mister Wheeler don't give up really any like useful like information. But I'm like,
Right.
what are they
Well,
taking?
and what do they really know? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like they don't really know anything, and it's kind of funny. I'm going to jump a little bit to the end where they're getting the stuff for the pool
yeah,
with Nancy and Mike, and they both kind of go, "Hey, let's not keep secrets or whatever." But like you realize too, like Nancy's got her own little thing of secrets that revolve around this, and Mike had
yeah,
his own little thing of secrets, and they both go together, even though we didn't know that they did. You know,
yeah.
up
It's a
until we kind of got the flashbacks and stuff, you really didn't know that both of these things were at some point going to interlock. I mean, obviously, as watchers, we knew that it was going to happen at some point, but you were just kind of unsure of how were they going to connect. You know?
it very much is like a happy coincidence, I feel like, in this episode. Especially when it comes to like where we see that Steve starts to have a change of heart with, is it Tommy? Yeah, Tommy and, oh, I always forget what her name is. It's like Laura or something like that.
Um,
I don't remember what her name is.
Tommy
R-
H and
redhead girl.
it starts with an A.
I don't remember what her name is. Well, we don't. It doesn't worry. It doesn't matter.
I wanted to say Amanda, but I don't think that's what it is.
It doesn't
Um,
matter. But we see them at a like gas station almost, and Steve's sitting on the back of his Beamer, and they bring him like a can of Coke and I think some aspirin, and he's like, "You owe me like $1.75 or something like that for like the dollar for the Coke and stuff."
yes.
Um, and Steve is like, kind of sitting there and like really rethinking everything that happened in the last couple of episodes. I feel like because Tommy is like, yeah, we're gonna like fuck him up, so he doesn't know what's coming to him, and like Steve does like a complete like 180. Like like
Yes.
maybe he deserved to get beat up by Jonathan Byers, and we find out that it was all Tommy's doing was to spray paint everything, but Steve never stopped Tommy from spray painting everything. You know, it was seemed to be all Tommy's idea. Which we get this scene.
Yeah, which being the person that Tommy is, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, and just the whole comment like right there, which I thought that part actually happened in season 2, but um where he was kind of doing that, and you find out really like I don't really know if Steve has always been the one um like pulling the strings and stuff,
Yeah,
like of that. It kind of did seem like it was Tommy that was really just like the school bully, not Steve.
yeah, and Steve kind of maybe fed into it a little bit. I feel like,
Yes, yes.
as the popular guy, he seemed to feed into that little a little bit, and like Steve goes to leave and like, or I, mean, I think maybe he goes to fight Tommy, but he's like, you couldn't even fucking take on Byers. What thinks you can take on me? And like Steve leaves. He leaves, which good on Steve. I feel like, and he goes to the movie theater specifically to help out the people. And they're like, "Did you cause this?" And man, Steve's face looks fucked up.
Yeah, it does.
It looks fucked
Yeah, it
up.
does.
I don't know if
Which
those are like cuts in his face or if that's all dried blood, but like,
oh, I think it's both. I think Jonathan was hitting him so hard that he just basically like
split him
busted
open.
like yeah, split him open and shit right there on
Yeah.
the side of his face. Which like sad to say, I would have really loved if we could have like gotten into Steve's brain, like what all was he
Yeah.
exactly thinking of? Because like one thing I feel like too is like I think he kind of got more of the win from Tommy because like at any point when he was really like pushing Jonathan and Jonathan was on top of him hitting him in the face, Tommy could have jumped into it.
Yeah, yeah.
He could have, and he never did. So it's kind of like, do you want to have a friend that's got your back, or do you want to have a friend that, is a piece of shit that gets you into
Shit.
trouble?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, I guess, for Tommy being, I guess, one of Steve's like good friends. Like he never hopped in. Like I
Yeah.
mean, maybe he hopped in a little bit, but he didn't like do anything. I feel like,
I think he just did that thing where it was like trying to like push them back together to like fuel the fight.
yeah, like hold me back, bro, hold me back. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
And
like jumping in the middle of it like, "Hey guys, maybe we should stop."
but I like this scene where like we see Steve like shift. He's not your typical bully, 80s bully, He
Yeah.
definitely has a heart of gold, I feel like, underneath all that hair.
Well,
Um
and this had to be the scene probably that why Joe Keery got to basically stay as Steve, like was part of
yeah.
this, you know.
Yeah, because we don't know how or if Steve was gonna go on after this season. I don't
We
think.
do. We do. They actually had a thing come out that Steve was only supposed to be like a one-hit wonder in this season, and I guess his little redemption arc, like people loved it so much that they actually kept Steve around. That's why he's been around for season 5.
Just like Delightful Derek or
Um,
Dipshit Derek, because that's the same thing that
nah,
happened to him.
no, he was only in season 5.
Yeah, but he was only supposed to be in that one episode,
Yeah.
and then they were like, "We want to keep him around."
Listen. I don't know if I can really say it then because they didn't even have like half of the episodes written at that point. But for Steve, I know for sure it was like, oh my god, we love this character. We need him for season 2, season 3, season 4. Let's keep going.
Yeah,
So he's gonna stay around the whole entire time. So,
yeah,
um, but we kind of got like all this stuff that happened, and we had where Steve left the convenience store, and then we have where everybody is basically at the buyer's house talking about what's going on. We get the third explanation of uh, what
what's
the
going
flea and
on?
the acrobat is, and
Yeah. Oh, we'll continue. Continue. I like the what happens next. Sorry.
um, them explaining. Which I was waiting for the pencil to go through the paper, and that didn't
Yeah, they didn't
happen.
make the pencil go to the paper.
But obviously they're like, hey, well, can you get in contact with Barb? Can you get in contact with Will? See what we can do, and um, just basically contact them. Which they gave her the radio like they did before, and trying to do it, just nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
You could
and
say she's out of juice at this point.
all the boys were like, yeah, she's out of juice. That's what it's got to be. Um, And of course, Eleven goes to the bathroom and washes her face. And then she goes, "Oh, well, maybe a tub.
The
Maybe
scene
a
where
tub would do that."
the scene where she's in the bathroom, she just looks so defeated at this point.
Yeah, she does.
Like she couldn't like help her new friends. Like it was a very well acted, subtle scene, I feel like, of her like, one trying to think up a new plan, but like just being like, I fucked up. I couldn't help him, I couldn't save him, I just thought it was very well done. Like I know she doesn't say anything, so I mean, like, actions speak louder than words, but I feel like her actions like spoke for her
Yes.
at that point. But yeah, we get the whole bathtub thing, which is really really funny. I loved watching Lucas and Dustin try to put together unfold a kiddie pool.
Right. Which this
That
is the
was
one that we
hysterical.
talked about already.
Yeah, this is the bathtub, everybody. It's the bathtub, not the kiddie pool. And
Yeah.
before this, they're like, oh, maybe we can have like a sensory deprivation thing. Like, how do we make one of those? And Dustin calls Mr. Clark, which Mr. Clark got some game. I feel like
Miss Clark was macking.
Mr. Clark was Mac, and I wonder if that was one of the teachers or maybe a librarian or what it was. I think it was one of the teachers probably. But man, like they were watching the thing, and he was like, that's bubblegum and like duct tape or something like that. I can't remember what he says that it
Melted wax
is.
and bubblegum.
Oh, melted wax and bubblegum, yeah. And he gets a phone call. He's like, who could be calling me at this time? And it's Dustin, his favorite student. And Mr. Clark is really trying to get off the phone, but the teacher in him will not let him get off the phone because I think he calls him at like 11 o'clock at night. I think it was
10.
10, 10. Okay,
He's
10.
like, it's 10 on a Saturday. Why are you calling me?
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, well, I need, just for funsies, I want to know how deprivation tanks work. And he's like, what? Like,
Yeah. Well, and I love the whole thing that he tells him. He's like, Mr. Clark, you always said that we should basically,
never shut the creative door or something like
yeah,
that.
and always like it could be exploring like the unknown. And why are you locking this door on me, Mr. Clark?
Dustin was gaslighting so hard. He was using that
Yes.
reverse psychology.
Yes, he was.
And he's like, okay, what do we need? Blah, 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 blah. He starts writing it down. He's like, okay, thank you, have fun. And he's like, make sure to stay safe. I hope Mr. Clark got lucky that night.
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as he was probably on the phone with Dustin, because I mean, Dustin had a whole sheet of paper. He's sitting there writing everything down and
Yeah.
all that other stuff, and it's like, what?
Yeah, like what the heck's going on? And we
Yes,
find out like they need like 15,000 pounds of salt or something like that. Or was it 1,500 pounds of salt?
1,500. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're like, where are we gonna get 1,500 pounds of salt? Well, they're gonna go to the middle school to get the de-icer salt, and they start to build this thing up and put water in it. It has to be a certain temperature. They had to do this test, which I didn't know this. Like, if you like put stuff in the water, it would make an egg float. Like,
yeah. Well, because you got to add so much salt into it that it makes the water like buoyant.
yeah, yeah. Like, I
Um,
didn't know that. That was very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So the funny thing is, like, I knew this because of Salt Lake City, Utah,
Yeah.
because the lake that Salt Lake City is named after has so much salt in it that you're supposed to be able to do the same thing that 11 got to do in the pool in this scene, because it's
Ah,
supposed to be so dense that you can float on top of it.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. But Joyce ends up giving 11 a pep talk, saying, we'll be here for you. Just find my boy. Find my boy. We'll be here for you. You're such not strange, a strong little girl for doing this. Like, I feel like she's trying to peer pressure 11 into doing this, to be honest. That's what it seemed like to me.
yes, yeah,
But there was this one scene that I really, really liked. And we already kind of talked about it. Well, it was Nancy and Mike, and they're in like the equipment shed or something, or trying to get into it. And
yeah,
Mike tries to ram it down with his shoulder tackle it,
yes.
but he's like, "Ow, that didn't work." And then like Nancy picks up a rock and like just breaks in. I want to know, how did they know all this stuff was there? Like, is
Um,
that a normal thing to just know where all the hoses are and all the salt is?
I mean, I think probably they've been there long enough that they knew that. Because what are Nancy and Jonathan and them like? Aren't they all
High
like juniors
school,
or seniors?
high schoolers. Yeah, because Steve's like a senior, I think.
So, like, I'm sure that they knew like where the equipment shed was. Um, And I mean, like, Hopper and Joyce and them went to school there. So, I mean, obviously, like,
True. I forgot about that.
they've probably had to put that stuff out too before or something like that.
Yeah, and we actually get the scene where Eleven goes into the tank or the kiddie pool and she finds Barb. She unfortunately finds Barb, who is dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
Barb does not come back after this season.
No, which I had a question on this scene right here, which was when she found Barb, and basically it looked like a slug climbed out of her mouth. Was it a
Yeah.
demo slug or was it a real slug?
I don't know. Good question. We'll have to go back and look. Probably a demo slug, I would say.
And does a demo slug turn into
It turns into
a demo dog into
a
a demogorgon at
dimmadog.
some point?
Yeah.
Like is this like a Pokemon evolution right here? Like,
Well,
is this how it works?
didn't D'Artagnan turn into like from like a slug into like the dog thingy?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was.
That's why I was kind of thinking about it, but I was like, no, that looks like a regular slug.
Maybe D'Artagnan was birthed out of Barb's mouth. I don't
I don't
know.
think so.
I
I
don't
think
think
that would have
so.
taken too long.
But yeah, like uh it's a scary scene, like of her like trying to hold it together because she is still, for all intents and purposes, a little girl. She's a little girl with these astronomical um goals set to her, like she's scared, she's anxious, you know, she becomes terrified at one point, which Joyce helps out with that situation. So does Hopper. And, we do end up finding Will, which he is apparently at Castle Byers and
In the upside
in
down.
the Upside Down. And he is cold and wet and looking a little worse for wear, but like they tell him to hold on. Like they will be there. They will be there to help their friend out. And we see Joyce and Hopper go off. Hopper tells Joyce to stay. And she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not going to stay. He's my son. He's my son. I'm going to do what I want." And which we get to this scene, and I know this scene is supposed to be like a very like kind of serious scene where we see Nancy sitting in front of a mural when then
Yeah.
Jonathan shows up and they're like, "We're gonna like go fight the Demogorgon. We need to fight it on both sides, basically."
Yes.
The only thing that was going through my mind is that portrait of the tiger behind them is not symmetrical. One half of the tiger's face is bigger and puffier than the other side. I don't know if
Yeah,
you,
I
I
think it was
don't know if
supposed
you
to be that
noticed
way
that.
though. Yeah, I
I,
think it was supposed to be that way.
I was like, come on, they can do better than that.
I mean, they might have wanted it that way. Who knows?
Maybe I don't know. That's just what I gravitated towards and like noticed and
Yeah.
fixated on. I was like, to me, I was like, that tiger painting is not perfect.
Do you hear that, Duffer Bros? That painting is not perfect. You got to go back and fix it now.
Which I think they filmed at like an actual high school.
They did.
So
Now the bad thing of my joke is, um, if they were going to go back and fix it, there'd be no point because I believe later on this year the school is going to be demoed.
demolished.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because the Hawkins lab actually, I know that they were planning on it. I don't know how when it started, but they were planning on doing it, and actually got taken down. I think last week.
Just because somebody
Um,
died out in Hawkins' lab, like a fan went out there and apparently died.
oh, I thought they already had it like ready to do that.
I don't know. All I know is somebody died out there when they went to go look at it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were going to do it after season 4, and then they're like, hey, if we like pay for you to not do it, could you wait for us to finish filming for season 5? And then they were like, hey, it's gonna go down, because it's actually a part of one of the schools in Georgia, and they were
Uh,
like, they didn't like the old design of it, so they were gonna basically just take it down, and and it just, I guess because of Stranger Things, they kind of like kept it there for long enough for Stranger Things to get done using it, and then basically it was signed up to be demoed. But I didn't even know that somebody actually died there.
yeah, I don't know how they died at Hawkins lab, but it was
Yeah,
like a super fan went out there and like went and like actually got into the building,
yeah,
and somehow, some way, some accident happened, and like they're no longer alive at this point. Which is, it's sad. That's sad to hear. You know that something horrific
well,
had
and
to
I don't.
happen.
The weird thing is because some people, you know, that they had like a access badge to get in there.
Yeah,
So I wonder if it was one of those or somebody that just snuck in maybe after they said like, hey, uh we're putting up the fencing and everything for it to be demolished, and maybe they snuck in.
I think they probably snuck in, but I don't know how they passed away. Like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they like actually snuck in. But yeah, moving along to the ending of this, where we see Nancy and Jonathan. I don't see how they could ever sneak into the police chief's or the sheriff's office. I mean, I get it because like the cop there is incompetent, but like even in the '80s, I don't think they would be able to sneak in that easily at that point and grab their gear.
Yeah, well, and it kind of seems like one of those really like tiny ones, especially like when this guy's the only guy that's there.
Yeah,
Maybe like in Hawkins, not a lot of stuff happens at night.
probably.
Because there is only one guy there. Like, you know, most other places, like they have a few people, you know, still on the ballot
Yeah.
of doing all that. And
Um. Go ahead.
you know, here I just don't think that that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah, and they get all their stuff because they're gonna go defend or help with like Demogorgon in whatever way they can. And
Yes.
our episode ends with Will in Castle Buyer, and the castle gets attacked by the Demogorgon, and that's how we end this episode.
Yes.
So, Jen, let me ask you, like I always ask you, what'd you think of this episode?
Oh man, I loved it. Like I kind of said last time, this one was probably going to take the number 1 spot out of every episode in this season so far. I mean, we got one more.
Yeah,
It will be a toss up. Like I said, between this one and the next one will be number 1, one will be number 2, and obviously last episode will be number 3. Um, but I don't know. I haven't rewatched the last episode yet because I usually
yeah.
like to watch it on the day of. But I mean, these are some solid episodes, I feel like.
I love the fact that their go-to reasoning is everybody's trying to fight the communists.
This is true. This is
Like that's
true.
that's their big bad is the commies.
Well, and I just think it's funny how like so many people like have never thought about part of this before.
Yeah, yeah. The communist, the Red Scare was baked into this since the beginning. I also really like this episode too. I think it's one of my favorites of season one. Um, it's very more fast paced, and things are very much gelling together at this point. Um, which I really like. It's not like all over the place. Like we're starting to come and we're funneling into one storyline. You know, it's not bouncing off of everything as much as like the previous. Like I would say, like the second. episode did quite a bit. But yeah, I really
Yes.
enjoyed this. I liked it a lot. I liked getting all the references and seeing like the ins and outs of things that I missed beforehand. You know, like hindsight is 2020, like I said before, and like things are working very well. Like it's this holds up.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if this is because I've heard rumors that the last season of Stranger Things sucked because one of the Duffer brothers got a divorce. It,
Yeah.
and apparently she had a bunch of ideas for Stranger Things, and she helped apparently ghostwrite a bunch of Stranger Things. I don't know how true that is, but I feel like this episode is really, really good. Um, yeah. What would you rate this episode?
Oh, 5 out of 5.
I'll
I
give it.
can't even argue it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was fun. Like I had like no qualms with this episode.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Jin, where could they find you at?
You can find me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram, as well as everywhere else that Otakuology is at.
And
Uh,
you can go ahead.
uh, and you could also find me here if you listen to the show. So listen to
That's
the show.
true. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more stuff. You can comment on our Spotify or on our YouTube channel, Otakuology. You can find me at the Otaku Mike on YouTube, Instagram, and as well here on Otakuology. And also, after this episode comes out, we will have Dan from the Gotham City Lights podcast on this podcast to talk about the ins and outs of creating a podcast and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Um, and other stuff like the fandom of Batman and stuff like that. It's kind of gonna be like a loose interview, I would say. Not really formulaic, I would say. Uh, but yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We certainly did.
Yeah, we did.
But yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll see you next Tuesday.